Well, guess what, my friend? We will all die. We will all be in a lot of pain. It's all coming our way. It's inevitable. It's part of life. But in the meantime, you might as well be a fucking savage and live your life the way you want to live. And you might as well put your best effort and your best foot forward and train like a motherfucker. This is Mark Bell from Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West. Here answering more questions today for the Power Project. I was watching the NFL draft over the weekend, and the big thing that came up was how many times or how much you bench is always the question on everybody's mind. How many times you bench 225 is a test they do in the NFL Combine. You see it all the time. And so let's talk about that a little bit. How do we increase the amount of times we could do 225 pounds? First thing to do whenever you're looking at questions like this is to try to simplify things. When you're talking about increasing the bench press period, let's think about a few different movements other than bench pressing that can actually help the bench press. So we understand the assistance exercises that we're going to be asked to do in addition to the programming and so on. This thing can kind of go on forever, but let's dissect it and let's all agree upon a few things here. Let's start out with the bench press, being something that works your pecs, right? We're going to need big pecs in order to hit up a big bench press. So we're going to need to do some dumbbell work. Let's just say incline dumbbell, since a lot of our work's going to be done on a flat bench. Let's have our assistance exercise be a little bit different than the main movement. We all agree on that, class? We all on page 43? There we go. So a dumbbell bench press would be a good idea. Dumbbell incline bench press would be a good idea. Let's just keep it normal. Let's just keep it standard, the old Weider principles, the 3 sets of 10. I'm not really sure where the hell 3 sets of 10 came from, but apparently somebody was obsessed with you getting in 30 reps. So let's just keep it that way. We'll go light, we'll go medium, and we'll go heavy. Maybe on the heavy set, maybe you do like an extra set or two on that last one. So maybe you actually do a 4th set, but grab a pair of 30-pound dumbbells, grab a pair of whatever would be medium for you, grab something heavy, get after it for a set of 10. If you feel okay, do another set of 10. That would be after your bench pressing. Let's talk about another movement that we're going to do for the day, another movement that will help increase your bench press. Let's throw in a little bit of shoulder work. Let's just do some dumbbell overhead presses. This could be done on a separate day or after the incline benches for the day. Now I know we're going to get into doing a lot of shoulder work for the day, but guess what? Anyone who's good at anything overdoes it, whether it's life training or whatever. Overtraining is the only route to success. When you're talking about powerlifting, you're talking about bodybuilding, you talk about any of it, talk to anybody who's got size, anyone who's got excess strength, and guess what? They overtrained for a long time. I used to do 20 sets of chest, 23 sets of chest to be precise, for years on end, and bench pressed 2 times a week since I was about 13 years old, and here we are talking about a possible 600-pound bench sometime next year. Anyway, so now we got some overhead presses. Let's just do them standing, since a lot of the other stuff we're doing is either laying down or sitting down. We can all agree on that. I'm on page 43. So we're going to do those standing. We're going to use a little bit lighter weight, and let's again just do standard 3 sets of 10. Grab something light, grab something medium, grab something heavy. It's important that you kind of re-warm up on each thing, even though you're already technically warm from the other things you're doing. It's a new exercise. Hopefully some of the people that are listening to this are actual athletes and not just big fat powerlifters like myself. You can't afford to hurt yourself in the gym. No one can, not even a powerlifter, bodybuilder, doesn't matter what it is. So take the time. It's just a few extra minutes. Take the time to learn the new pattern of the new movement and then move on. We're going to do one more exercise because we don't want to do too many exercises. Otherwise, we're going to turn into CrossFitters, right? We all agree? We don't want to turn into CrossFitters, right? All right. So the last exercise we're going to do, let's just do dumbbell tricep extensions. And let's really get after these, and let's really try to handle some weight, and let's really try to do a lot of sets. So we're going to do 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps, so the rep range is a little bit lower. We're going to work our way up to a heavy set of 6 to 8 reps. Once we get to that heavy set of 6 to 8 reps, something that's not hurting your elbows, something that's not killing your elbows, because you don't want it to be damaging over a period of time. Once we get to that main set, once you agree upon a weight that you can handle successfully for sets of 6 to 8 reps, we are now going to move into doing 3 more sets of that movement. So again, a little bit of a warm-up, a little bit of a medium weight, then do 6 to 8 reps, something heavy-ish, and we're going to proceed to do a few extra sets in that range. We're looking at 5 to 6 sets of 6 to 8 reps, and you want to really try to push this movement. If you have to wear compression cuffs from howmuchyoubench.net, don't be afraid to throw those on, or the new strong elbow sleeves, whatever you got to wear to get through the movement, because it's about doing the movement. It's not about being a tough guy. Protect yourself before you wreck yourself. Now, we all agree there's some great assistance movements that have to be done. We're going to focus in on those once a week. If we do them twice a week, we might be overdoing it, and we might run into shoulder pain, might run into elbow pain, and so on. What we're going to do on the bench press itself is we're going to work on getting stronger. The fastest way, the easiest way to manhandle 225 pounds is to manhandle a lot of fucking weight and to build some brute strength. The stronger you are, the more you're able to handle some of those maximal weights, the easier 225 pounds is going to feel. Currently, if your best bench press is 315 pounds, and over the course of 6, 8, 12 weeks, let's say 12 weeks, over the course of 12 weeks, you go from a max bench press of 315 pounds, and you move your way up to about a 335 pound bench, 345 pound bench. When you go to do 225 pounds, it's going to feel that much lighter. A 225 pound bench will feel like chump change, cha-ching, to somebody that benches 500 pounds. To somebody that benches 275, 225 is kind of heavy. Now here's where things get a little tricky. We want to increase our strength. We want to increase our 1 rep max, and so we have to perform some lower rep ranges in 1 to 3 rep range on a weekly basis. But we also need another day a week where we're doing either dynamic effort work or we're doing rep work. And for this particular situation, we're going to actually do rep work on the other day. Now let's talk about the max effort day, the day that we're going to handle some heavy weights. This is a little bit of a West Side type of program that I'm giving you here. So let's just hypothetically say that your main day is a Thursday. That's my day. That's my bench day. And the next workout that you're going to do is going to either be on a Sunday or a Monday. You need that. You need some time. You need to kind of stretch that out. Otherwise, you're not going to recover properly. So on the day that you're going to train heavy, you're going to work up to a 1 to 3 rep max. Make sure that it's clean. Make sure that your hips aren't coming off the bench. Make sure your ass isn't coming off the bench. Make sure you're not getting these squirmy positions. What we're looking for is 3 sets of 1 to 3 reps. Now I know when I say 1 to 3, you're just going to automatically jump to a 1 rep max. Let's work on 3 sets of 3, and over a period of time we'll go 3 sets of 3 week 1, 3 sets of 2 week 2, and 3 sets of 1 on week 3. Repeat that process until you've done that a few times over. Week number 1, when you do your 3 sets of 3, let's have you keep the percentages. I call it staying in your lane. Keep the percentages to a weight that's not going to be so goddamn heavy that you're going to kill yourself. It should be pretty easy. 3 sets of 3, maybe even your warm-up, you can kind of practice and try to take something that you can normally do for 6 repetitions or so, and that's where you're going to start your 3 sets of 3. So percentage wise, if we throw a number out there, let's just say 70%. It's going to feel pretty light, but we're going to add about 5% each week. We're trying to increase our maximal strength. Keep in mind, 70% is not maximal, and more than likely you'll need a higher percentage. But the reason why I'm giving you these numbers is because I need you to make all 9 reps for the day. 3 sets of 3, 9 reps total. You need to make them. Let's have you pause each one on your chest and explosively blast them back up. In order to go through the form and technique and stuff, it's a little too much for this video, but you guys have seen a lot of videos where I talk about technique. Technique is also going to be a crucial component to this entire thing. So on that day where we talked about doing 3 sets of 3 on the main movement, the following week we're going to do 3 sets of 2. The following week after that, we're going to do 3 sets of 1. We're adding 5% each week. So when we get to that last week, we're going to be in the 80% range. This is just a range. So you can go a little heavier, you can go a little lighter. 5 to 10 pounds, doesn't really matter. Give or take a couple pounds. Do what feels good to you and stay within that range. So now, that's the max effort day. That's going to be the Thursday workout. Let's switch it over to Sunday, the dynamic effort workout. Now normally dynamic effort work would be 10 sets of 3 reps. We're going to do something a little different. I need you to learn to move fast. I need you to learn to move very fast, not only on the way up, the concentric portion, but also on the way down. You need to go, you need to really drop those weights down in there. You need to drop them very quickly from the top. From the very top, you got to get momentum, you got to be aggressive, you got to drop the weight down in there. We're going to do 5 sets of 5 repetitions, and we're going to try to work on speed. We're not bouncing the weight off our chest. Normally, a typical speed training session would be 10 sets of 3 reps. A lot of times you'll see that traditional West Side. I want you to do 5 sets of 5 reps because I want the weights that you're using, again, to be something that you can really manage, and I don't want fatigue to be a factor here. I'm going to do 5 sets of 5 reps, okay? And try to keep the range of motion where you're locking each one out, but you're trying to be explosive with those weights. The amount of weight that you're going to use is going to be about 50 to 60% of your max. It's going to be about 50 to 60% of your max. Going to add about 5% each week for 3 weeks. After you're done with that workout, that's going to be the 5 sets of 5. When we move into dumbbell work, we're going to do much higher rep range than we did on the other week. Let's do like 3 sets of 20. We're going to do incline dumbbell press, and we're going to do 3 sets of 20 on the overhead, and we're going to do 3 sets of 20 on the dumbbell tricep extension. So similar exercises, just going to change things up a little bit. Going to add some repetitions in there. Once you're done with those 3 weeks on the speed day, I know it's a long fucking thing I got going on here, but it's important because you got to realize you can't just turn it around in just a couple weeks. This has got to be a process. Once you're done with those 5s to 5, we're going to work on doing higher rep ranges than that. We're going to take, in week 1, we're going to take 185 for a ride for as many as we can after we're warmed up. Week 2, we're going to take 205 for a ride for as many as we can. And week number 3, we're going to take 225 pounds for a ride and do as many reps as we can. We're going to just we're going to continue to move that back and forth between those 5 sets of 5, and between those you want to keep track of your rep records on those other days with the 185 and the 205 and the 225. And you want to keep going back and forth, toggle back and forth between those two until you get done with about 12 weeks worth of work. Now here's something I didn't add into the mix that you can add in that's going to help you tremendously, is adding in a commercial slingshot. If you add in a slingshot, the slingshot's going to teach you to move a lot faster, and that's exactly what we need to do. So you can work in the slingshot on your bench press. You can work in the slingshot on some push-ups, but the slingshot is going to teach you to move fast. It's going to make you more comfortable with the uncomfortable, which is really trying to lower those weights quickly and under control. So you can use this slingshot on your speed day. Just use it for 3 extra sets on your speed day. Use it for 3 extra sets on your maximal effort day. Just add 20 pounds to the bar on your max effort day to each set. So if you ended the workout, the 3 sets of 3 workout that we talked about earlier, if you ended it with 275 pounds, you're going to go to 295 for a set of 3. You're going to go to about 315 for a set of 3, and then you're going to go to about 335 for a set of 3. On your speed day, when you're doing your speed work, you're doing your 5s to 5, same thing. You're going to add 20 pounds for 3 extra sets. When you're doing your higher rep ranges, you're only going to do 1 set with the slingshot. You're going to do 185 week 1, 205 week 2, 225 week 3. Now remember, that cycle is going to repeat for the course of about 12 weeks. We'll try to write it out so you can kind of see it on the screen somewhere. My brother might try to put it on there. I don't know if he knows how to do all that stuff. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But it's going to be hard work. It's going to take some time in order for you to be able to build doing 225 for repetitions. This is a method very similar to what I used a long time ago when I was about 20 years old, and I did 225 pounds for 40 reps. So if you want to be me, you're going to have to beat me. And that is it from Super Training Gym.
Thanks for watching the last video, guys. If you want more content, be sure to subscribe, like, share it. Leave your comments below on what you thought. If you want to see more content from the strongest gym in the West, be sure to click up here. And if you guys want the best gear in the powerlifting game, all the strength sports, slingshot, right over here.